Good evening, everyone. We're truly glad to have you back with us tonight. Some houses don't just hold memories, they hold something darker. Tonight, you'll hear true stories from people who stepped inside and uncovered the terrifying secrets hiding behind the walls. If you enjoy tales of the paranormal and the unexplained, don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications. We share new nightmares every day. You're watching Sleep Horror Stories. My name is Sophia, and tonight, I want to share an experience with you and your audience. More than just a story, it's a warning. Be careful about who you welcome into your home. I'm sorry if any of my friends hear this, since they also follow your channel. But I feel I have to share this, so others don't go through what we did. We were always close with Lauren and Jake. We met back in college, and since then, our lives had taken nearly identical paths. Derek and I, just like them, shared dinners, trips, and stories, always in total trust. There had never been any awkwardness between us. So when we invited them over for dinner that night, I was only expecting a pleasant, relaxed evening. But the moment they walked through the door, something felt off. Max, our dog, a big, gentle German shepherd, had always been friendly, even with strangers. He'd wag his tail wildly whenever we had guests over. But that night, the second Lauren and Jake stepped in, Max tensed up. He stood at the doorway, staring at them like they were complete strangers. At first, I tried to ignore it. But then he started growling, a deep, menacing sound we had never heard from him before. "Max, stop," I said, trying to calm him down. But he didn't stop. The growling grew louder, more intense. His teeth began to show, and suddenly the air inside the house shifted. There was tension, heavy, unexplainable. Even Derek felt it. We tried multiple times to get Max to calm down, but nothing worked. Eventually, we decided to lock him in the back room so we could at least try to enjoy dinner. Still, deep down, I felt something wasn't right. I thought the mood would lighten once Max was out of sight. But no. The air was still heavy, like walking into a room right after a big argument. That tension sat between us like a third guest. Derek and I tried to play it off, served the wine, brought out appetizers. But the conversation felt forced. The smiles were thin. And those silences between sentences? Unbearable. Then Lauren broke the ice, though what she said only made everything worse. "We want to share something that happened to us a few weeks ago," she said, calm as ever. "We want to see a witch." I froze. So did Derek. "A witch?" I asked, trying to keep my voice light, but I'm sure my tone betrayed me. "Yeah," Jake said, smiling. "We've been trying to have a baby for years, and nothing's worked. So we decided to try something new." Lauren continued explaining. The witch had performed some special ritual, a fertility blessing, she called it. Candles, chants, whispered phrases, and a few items they had to leave around the house. Since then, Lauren said with a strange little grin, "We feel this new energy. The house feels different now. There's a presence, but it's good. It's watching over us." Derek and I exchanged glances. This wasn't just a dinner conversation anymore. The dining room lights flickered for a moment. I tried to shrug it off, just a coincidence. But the heavy atmosphere grew denser with every word they spoke. Jake kept smiling, but there was something off in his eyes. Ever since we came back from the witch's house, we hear whispers sometimes. But they're comforting. They make us feel safe. The way they said it chilled me. Their calmness didn't match the overwhelming pressure filling the room. Derek squeezed my hand beneath the table. He was just as unsettled. The air around us was thick, like something invisible had walked in with them and refused to leave. Then Lauren casually said, "You should see her. It's an amazing experience." A chill ran down my spine. Something deep inside me screamed that what they were offering was anything but positive. Our home, our safe place, now felt tainted by something unseen. Derek must have felt the same, because minutes later, he politely suggested we wrap up the night. Lauren and Jake seemed a little surprised, but didn't argue. When they finally left, taking that heavy energy with them, our house seemed to exhale. The air felt lighter, like something invisible had exited through the door behind them. We sat in silence for a while, trying to process it all. Max walked calmly out of the back room, as if nothing had ever happened. We looked around. The house was back to normal. For a second, we almost believed we had imagined it all. But we knew the truth. Something changed the moment they walked in. Thankfully, whatever it was, left with them. We never spoke of that night again. Not with them. Not even with each other. As if talking about it would bring it back. But sometimes, when the house is dead quiet, I feel a breeze that shouldn't be there. And I wonder if a piece of that energy stayed behind. Be careful who you welcome into your home. I never believed much in the paranormal. I used to think that noises at night were just old pipes or expanding. But everything changed when I moved into that old house. I'd spent years saving up for my first place. It was in a quiet neighborhood, a little ways from downtown. From the outside, the house didn't seem special. 2 stories, a weathered facade, and a garden that clearly hadn't been cared for in years. But the price was irresistible. The real estate agent said it had been vacant for years. No disturbing details, just that the last owner had moved out suddenly. That first night, I felt uneasy. I heard creaking upstairs, like someone walking from room to room. But I chalked it up to the house settling. Still, the noises continued. Always around the same time, just after midnight. Every time I got up to check, everything looked normal. But after the first week, the feeling of being watched started to grow. Especially in the living room, where I usually relaxed after work. At first, it was just a mild discomfort. But soon it felt like something or someone was constantly behind me. I'd sit on the couch and feel pressure on the back of my neck. Then the object started to move. No, not chairs flying across the room or anything dramatic. It was subtle. One morning, I noticed a lamp leaning oddly to one side, like someone had touched it. Another time, I found the bathroom door shut even though I'd left it wide open before bed. I told myself I probably forgot to leave it open. But it started happening more often. Doors closing by themselves. Items not being where I left them. And that's when I started feeling paranoid. The breaking point came around 3 a.m. one night. I was lying in bed when loud banging echoed through the wall behind me. At first, I thought it came from outside. But there was no wind, no trees nearby, nothing that could have caused it. The thud was so violent it made me jump out of bed. I grabbed a flashlight and searched the house, even the backyard. Nothing. Not a single sign that anyone had been around. But the banging came back. Night after night. Always at the exact same time. A few weeks later, I decided to inspect the house more thoroughly. It was old. After all, maybe there was something structural going on. While cleaning out the basement, I found something unexpected. In one of the corners, behind some decaying furniture and rusted junk, I saw a small wooden box. It was filled with deteriorated items, dusty, covered in cobwebs. But what really caught my eye was an old photograph. It showed a family, a man, a woman, and 2 small children. Judging by their clothes, the picture was from decades ago. No names, no dates. The image gave me a strange feeling, like I'd stumbled on something that should have stayed hidden. I started digging into the house's history. And that's when I found an old article. A family had vanished from the property decades ago. Ever since I found that room, the activity intensified. The whispers that I once thought were just in my head now had clarity. I heard my name in the silence of the night. Sometimes I'd wake up frozen in bed, like something invisible held me down for a few terrifying seconds. The final straw? My best friend, Marcus, came to stay the weekend. I didn't tell him anything. I wanted him to notice it himself. That first night, while watching a movie, we both heard the banging. He turned to me and asked if I had rats. I tried to play it off, but he knew. That night, Marcus slept in the guest room. The next morning, he came down pale as a ghost. He told me he had felt something watching him all night. And he heard whispers, but couldn't make out the words. We searched the house together. And that's when I saw it. Something I'm 100% sure wasn't there before. The bedroom door had claw marks, deep scratches like from a large animal. And that smell, strong sulfur. That was it. The constant watching, the knocking, the whispers, the shifting objects. It all became too much. Nothing ever physically attacked me. But the psychological pressure, knowing something else was in that house with me, was unbearable. I packed up fast and left. I walked away from the house. But I still can't stop thinking about what happened there. I never found out what exactly was haunting that place. But I'm certain something was there. Something that didn't want to be found. And even though I try to forget, every time I hear creaking in a quiet house, I remember those walls, the whispers in the dark, and that awful feeling of something watching me.